Good evening, everyone. We're going to start with my college-wide capability, teamwork, and leadership, emotional intelligence, and initiative is the one who I chose. We're going to start with one of the core texts. It is in the readings, managing an organization through leadership based on the values. So the main idea of this, as it is written here, is the value-based leadership is essential. In other words, in the organizations. Um, Also create successful teamworks, and also the effectiveness of leadership depends on the values and actions and the organization, so it has to be aligned. Then we go to purpose. So to identify what is the purpose in this text, is that to identify key value critical to effective organizational management. The purpose is to identify the critical to effective organizational management, to advocate for leadership style grounded in values such as dignity as the common good, and emphasize building sustainable organization through shared values. So, values give the dignity to people that are part of the team, and identify key values is important to an effective organization. Then we go to ethos, pathos, and logos. Before that, sorry, we're going to textual element language scheme and troops. So what kind of language? It was a formal academic prose. Is academic prose. It uses an structured argument also. It's a precise language it uses. Rhetorical devices. Precise explanations of key concepts like values, leadership, teamworks, the impact of leadership, for example, on team outcomes. And then scheme and troops is using metaphors, parallelism, and rhetorical questions also. And in the reading are many rhetorical questions. And in general, he uses um, metaphors and related to military leadership to illustrate certain points. And then we go to, of course, it is pathos and logos. And the author in this case established credibility because he has military experience. So what he was talking about something he already knew and has experience. So and pathos, the emotional appeals, he discusses the dignity of the people and appealing to ethical considerations. And then we have the logos, which is logical, is an structured presentation, and is of course is making an statistic analysis also, and it gives also a hypothesis and evidence to conclusion. And then we can, when this cortex, we're going to finish with definition presentation. The leadership is portrayed as value driving process aiming for the common good. Well, it's talking about leadership as value driven, as we already talked about that. The connection to audience is encourage leaders to reflect on their values as the impact and organization culture, and appeal to audiences desire for effective and ethical leadership practice. Is important ethics and values again. Purpose of rhetoric aims to shift leadership model focusing on value-based approaches and seeks to inspire leaders to prioritize ethical decisions. So that's what purpose of the rhetoric. And then the teamwork are not discussed. So let's continue and move to the next TED. It is a video, Why Good Leaders Make You Feel Safe by Simon Sinek. So the main idea of this is great leadership creates psychology safety. Good leaders create safe environment. So the main idea of this video is that good leaders create a safe environment. People feel safe, they work better together. Um, and of course, leaders must sacrifice their own comfort. So let's continue. And the purpose of this video. So the purpose is to show leaders, to show how leadership, if it's trust, can build stronger teams and organizations, and to challenge traditional leadership views, and to encourage new leaders to, of course, always to put their people first, even before them, and to inspire better leadership practice. And then we can go to Audience teamwork and leadership connection. The audience are business leaders, manager, workers, corporate teams, anyone who is interested in improving leadership and teamwork. And the author explains that when leaders protect their people, teamwork naturally grows because people feel safe. So that's the teamwork. Now we go to ethos, pathos, and logos. And this video, the ethos is that the author presents himself as a leadership expert. So and then shares military examples to be the authority because he like people is going to believe in him because he already have the experience, and dresses professionally but approachably. And then pathos, what are the emotions? He shares powerful stories like a soldier jumping on a grenade for his team in order to steer emotions, right? And then uses sometimes he was using humor also to connect with people, and appeals to our desire for belonging, of course, because all of us want to belong to a team or to a group of people. Then we have logos, and he explains logically how human biology, like the release of chemical such as oxytocin, supports cooperation and trust when we feel safe. So this is logical, and present leadership as a logical solution to business problem. And then we continue. Finally, the text analysis in this video, the language was clear and was used in real examples. Rhetorical devices, he uses historicals, anecdotes to connect emotionally, right? And he uses repetitions to emphasize points. And it uses metaphors like circle of safety to explain leadership, for example. And then we have teamwork and leadership. In definition, teamwork is natural human cooperation when fear is removed, of course, and leaders take risks first and suffer along with their people. And we go to the next core text is Hill tethers what is it? Well, he is the author. What makes a great leader? And the main idea of this text is great leader must master three roles: architect, preacher, and catalyst to drive innovation and build effective team, which is important. And she also emphasized leaders must balance individual excellence with team development, and modern leadership is about enabling others to just not just directing them to start give them the opportunity to participate. And then we have the purpose. What is the purpose? Is to guide the new leaders and can innovate, to define a clear criteria and to help organizations identify and develop better leaders, to provide practical guidance for leadership development. So, in other words, for new leaders so they can get better. And then we have what is the audience, the works and leadership connection. The audience, of course, are always business leaders, managers, professionals seeking to enhance their leadership skills, people aspiring to leadership positions. So the article emphasized that effective leadership involves creating environments where teams can collaborate, innovate, and grow together. As we already talked, teamwork requires psychology, safety, and clear direction. Is what the leadership when they were talking about this one. So let's then move on to ethos, pathos, and logos. So ethos, the author established authority because he belongs to Harvard Business School. He's a professional. Publication platform adds credibility, and the author's academic and business background reinforce his expertise. The pathos, real life example, like for example, there is what he gave a real life example, like Eja Bange's leadership at Mastercard illustrate the emotional impact of strong leadership on teams and organization. Appeals to readers' ambitions for career success and creates emotional connection to team members' experiences. So that's the emotional connection in this reading. And then we go to logos. The article presents a logical framework. As a logical framework, and they're not jumping from one to another. It's logical, and it's a step-by-step leadership development of the text. And then we go to text analysis, clear and accessible language, concise definition, storytelling to connect, and the rhetorical voices and teamwork. So let's move to the alter text just for finishing. It was a video also. The main idea of the video, a great leadership is a network, not a hierarchy, was leadership should be shared among many. Okay, distributed leadership creates stronger teams. And then we go to purpose, And the purpose is to encourage organization to adopt distributed leadership. So they encourage new organization to do this and to inspire new changes. Okay. And then we go to audience. The audience are business leaders, managers, team functions, And then continue to either status and logos. So in this, the author is a managing consultant with experience. So it gives her authority. First, her work transforming actual organization. Then with pathos, she shares stories so she can connect with people. Okay, embracing sharing leadership, appealing to our desire for collaboration, and uses sometimes humors. And then logos, she explained that traditional hierarchies can slow down decision making. So she's also using real business metrics or statistics. And the analysis of this text is clear and straightforward language. Of course, it's a clear language, uses real life examples. Rhetorical devices, metaphors, and leadership, and encourage the idea that everyone can say, I am the leader. And teamwork leadership strength. And the definition leadership enable others to lead from their strength. And this is it. Thank you so much for your attention. This was my work. Thank you so much. Have a good night.